Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be kind of reviewing what we've done with fractions and decimals, and we are going to practice a model drawing together. So if you have done a model drawing with me before, you know that you will need a piece of paper and you will need a pencil. And if you plan on marking on your word problem like I do, then you would probably like to grab or hit pause and take just a minute and copy this problem down. I will be writing on the actual word problem, so if that's something you know that you'll want to do, then hit pause and go ahead and get this copied down. So those of you that have done model drawings with me before, you know that the first step is to read the problem. And then the second step is to turn the question into an answer. So we always know that we're doing the right steps in our problem and not answering some question that it's not actually asking. So when we read our problem, it says, yesterday, Ben's bamboo plant grew 0.5 centimeters or 5/10 of a centimeter. Today, it grew another 8/10 of a centimeter. How many centimeters did Ben's bamboo plant grow in 2 days? So I want you to think for just a second, how can we turn that into an answer sentence? And again, anytime you want to pause and think or pause and write something down, you're welcome to do that. So if I'm going to take my question was how many centimeters did his plant grow in 2 days? So I can turn that into an answer and say, Ben's plant grew this much. I don't know how much it is yet. I've not done any math. In 2 days. Now, once I've done the math, of course, I'll come back down here and put my answer, but that's just to make sure I stay on the right track. I don't want to be off answering some other question when this is what the word problem wants to know. So who and what are we talking about in the problem? We're talking about Ben, and specifically, we're talking about his plant, his bamboo plant. And Ben's plant has been growing, as far as we know, for a total of 2 days. So it grew some yesterday, and it grew some today. Now, anytime I do a model drawing, I have a question that I'm answering, so I have to represent that in my model with a question mark. So in this problem, my question mark goes at the end because I want to know all together, both of these days, how much did his plant grow? How much did it grow yesterday and today? So I put my question mark at the end. Whatever answers this question will go right here. Okay? I don't want to go too fast. Again, if you need to hit pause, do that. So when I go into the word problem, it's going to tell me as many pieces of information as it can, and then it's going to be up to me to find the rest. So yesterday, Ben's bamboo plant grew 0.5 centimeters. It grew 5/10 of a centimeter. That was yesterday. So I want to come down here to my yesterday box, and I'm going to think, and I'm going to write 0.5. I'm going to put it just like it has it here. Today, it grew another 8/10 of a centimeter. So I'm going to come right here to today, and I'm going to put 8/10. But already in my head, I've got some alarms going off, and I'm thinking, oh no, I don't know how to do this. She never taught me how to add decimals and fractions together. And you know what? You're right. I haven't. So let's say you came across a problem like this. You're intelligent. You can figure this out. What do we do? It's just like when we're talking about improper fractions being added to proper fractions, being added to mixed numbers. When you're doing that, the first thing you're going to have to do is get everything to where it looks the same. So I either need to make both of these a decimal, or I need to make both of these a fraction. Well, I know that I've not taught you how to add decimals yet, so I think the easiest for us would be to turn this into a fraction. If we think about what we have done in the last couple of videos, we know that 0.5 is read as 5/10. If I was to write 5/10 as a fraction, yeah, it would look like 5/10. So if I'm finding my total, then I'm putting this and this together, then my operation is adding. I'm going to take 5/10, and I'm going to add it to 8/10. Now, before I start doing any adding, I'm pulling these things back out again. A tenth is a fractional unit. It is not going to change. This just means I have 5 of these, and I'm adding 8 more of these to it. So that means my denominator will not be changing. I will always be using these little purple tenths. 5 of them plus 8 of them will give me how many tenths? 5 plus 8 is 13. So I have 13 tenths. Well, if we remember this is an improper fraction, that means there's a better way to put this. I could also say it's 1 whole, because 10 tenths would have been 1 whole. 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 3 tenths left. 1 3/10 centimeter. Now, if you chose to write this as your answer, that's perfectly fine. That is correct. So I could come here and I could say it grew 1 3/10 centimeters in 2 days. I also could write my answer as a decimal. 1 being my whole and 3/10 being written like this. I could say Ben's plant grew 1 3/10 centimeters in 2 days. So if you got this as an answer or this one, both of those are correct. Okay? Thank you for hanging in there with me. If you are still writing and you want to pause the video and finish copying this down, that is perfectly fine. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.